Ka-Kafanee.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Charli XCX!
This week I listened to Brat by Charli XCX for the first time, and I must say I was unfamiliar with her game. I've been well aware of hit songs from Charli like I Love It, Fancy, and Boom Clap, but I'd never really paid attention to her music. Last year when Brat came out, I was well aware of the album and the impact that it was having, but for some reason I never really listened to it. I tried to listen to it when it first came out, but it just didn't really click with me at the time. I think I listened to like the first 3 songs and I just didn't like it, so I just never went back to it. But in hindsight, that was crazy. Especially because I love and I listen to a lot of electric music, from Daft Punk to Aphex Twins to Justice to Massive Attack and Air and Vegan. And that still doesn't even scratch the surface of all the artists I listen to. I wasn't really planning on listening to the album, but I saw a clip of her performing Party For You at Coachella, and I was just completely blown away. Now it's like one of my favorite songs. She definitely had the gods of autotune bless her the same way they did T-Pain in 2007 to 2009.
Cause you look so good, you make me wanna spin it all on you.
And something about that Coachella set really just gave my ears an update, because listening to that album the second time, totally different experience.
16, when you're in the mirror, do you know what you see? When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me.
When I listened to 360 for the first time, it's how I imagine old people hear like Kid Carson's music. The second time I listened to it, I was blown away from start to finish. 360 is the perfect album intro because it sounds like she's entering the party for the first time, and it seems like the part of a party where everything starts picking up, everyone's having a good time, but nothing overly crazy is happening just yet. This song is definitely like a cokehead anthem. Like, I imagine for like a cokehead, both those songs must give you the same feeling like somebody who smokes weed gets when they listen to Mesmerized by Wiz Khalifa. And it really just shows it doesn't really matter what you do at all as long as you're making those hits. And that's word of Bruno Mars. The song itself is just so catchy and simple, and it does a really good job at setting the tone for the rest of the album.
Might go to the club, I wanna hit this club classics.
Club Classics kind of had to grow on me. I didn't necessarily hate it or really overly dislike it the second time I listened to it, but I didn't really care for it as much as I did 360. But after a few times of playing the album back, the song started to slowly grow on me. It's definitely the type of song I'd love to see at a concert.
Weekend 2, you wanna go to the club or what?
One thing that I love that she does on this song, and just in general, she always gives credit where credit's due, and she's always shouting out her close friends and collaborators, like AG and Sophie. When it comes to Sympathy is a Knife, to be honest, I don't really care for the song at all, even after listening to the album a bunch of times. I think the remix is a little bit better, but I still skip the song every time I listen to the album. There's nothing I can really call out about the song that makes it really like terrible or bad. I just really don't like it.
I might say something stupid.
I Might Say Something Stupid, though, is perfect start to finish.
That's a 10.
The first 3 songs start to build that hype for the album and build a lot of energy in the album, but I Might Say Something Stupid totally changes the direction.
But I'm perfect for the background, 1 foot in a normal life.
And it shows the other side of the party girl persona that she has, a more insecure side that explores how she feels like she's an outsider and isn't really accepted, which has been a struggle for her throughout her career.
I used to not always make the music that I wanted to hear. I used to make the music that I thought people wanted to hear.
And a big part of that feeling came from her feeling like she was stuck in between being a pop star and an underground artist.
I've always been caught in this dichotomy of, am I a left field underground artist or am I supposed to be a pop star?
And her having to fight with commercial success and making music that genuinely resonates with her and her fan base. And with Brat, she did exactly that. She wasn't pandering to any other side of pop music other than her core niche.
This record, it's not going to, there's going to be like no like traditional radio songs, like whatever.
Every aspect of this album has been non-traditional, from the overall sound of the album into the now iconic marketing strategy that really brought the album to life and really stayed true to her core vision. And this song perfectly encapsulates that feeling. The production on I Might Say Something Stupid is night and day to the past 3 songs. The sound is much more melancholy and somber, but what really brings that feeling out is her vocal delivery. When she says,
I go so cold, I go so cold.
You can hear the pain and the defeat in her voice from having to deal with this for so many years. After I Might Say Something Stupid, you see Charli bring the energy back up with Talk Talk.
Wish you talk, talk, wish you talk, talk, wish you talk, talk, wish you just talk to me.
It definitely leads on more of the pop side. I can definitely hear the song playing in like a store. And overall, I like Talk Talk, but it's definitely not my favorite song on the album. Personally, I only really listen to the remix.
Here's the plan, I wanna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta be hard to fuck you and I wanna
Not just because of choice of Vaughn's part, but also because the production on the remix is closer to a house-inspired sound. And the house-inspired production brings the song to life more. I think Von Dutch is a cool song and the video is really good as well, but I really skip this song every time I play the album. I think the remix is way better than the original, and on the remix, Addison for sure was cooking.
While you're sitting in your dad's basement, bet you're disappointed that I'm shining, I'm just living that life.
I will say, I think Addison's scream sounded way better on the recorded version than it did at Coachella. From her and Charli going back and forth on the chorus to the scream, I love her addition to the song, and I don't even really listen to Addison or follow anything she does.
Everything is romantic. Oh.
Everything is romantic. The original and the remix are both peak music. Just pure masterpiece. Nothing can change on those songs. They're incredible. When it gets to like the minute and 20-second mark and the beat starts coming in, oh my god.
Everything is romantic.
My favorite part about the song is definitely when she's repeating the fall in love again and again part, and how she layers in the vocal of her yelling while the synth softly plays in the background.
Again, fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again.
And the beat is slowly building to this rising and ascending feeling, and it just creates one of the most beautiful moments on the entire album.
Fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again, fall in love again.
And it feels like that moment when you're at a concert and your favorite song plays and the artist puts on a new outro to the song that's super heavenly and it just makes you ascend in the middle of the show. And Caroline being on the remix is just chef's kisses because she killed her part.
Free bleeding in the autumn rain, fall in love again.
I really love how her verse transitions into somewhat of a phone call with Charli, and how that call transitions into Charli's verse.
I'm trying to shut off my brain, I'm thinking about work all the time.
You're living with you and not letting your life.
Oh God, it's so good.
Sometimes I just wanna rewind.
Rewind is similar to how I feel about Von Dutch. I really don't listen to the song and I skip it typically. I skip the remix too. I do appreciate the lyrics of the song though, and how she's in a space where she's contemplating a simpler time in life, from burning CDs when she was younger to now having to deal with Billboard and the paparazzi and what comes with fame and this level of stardom.
Always on my mind. Every day, every night, your star burns so bright.
So I, to me, is similar to I Might Say Something Stupid, where it has that very beautiful sadness to it. But this time around, she's grieving for her friend Sophie that passed away a few years ago, even making a reference to Sophie's 2017 song, It's Okay to Cry.
Just know whatever hurts, it's all mine. It's okay to cry.
I thought it was really cool how she used the original version to talk more from a sad perspective,
I can cry, so I cry.
and how she used the remix to talk about all the happy moments that she had with Sophie.
Now I wanna think about all the good times. First time I ever felt alive on stage, in Texas, in matching latex, that's as cool as I'm ever gonna feel.
She also talks about how it's hard to perform some of the songs her and Sophie did in the past.
When I'm on stage, sometimes I lie. Say that I love singing these songs you left behind.
One of those songs is definitely Taxi from XCX World, which is an album that never came out because it leaked. Taxi in particular is a fan favorite, and it's often requested at shows, which fans really shouldn't do because she has spoken in the past of how sad that song does make her.
Yellow taxi,
Sorry.
really sad, you know, because that was like a song that we loved together.
Even though she has expressed her feelings on Taxi, people still request it. Definitely don't be like the person who requested Taxi while she was performing So I, which is super disrespectful. So I is one of the most heartfelt songs on the entire album, and it's definitely one of my favorites.
It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl.
Girl So Confusing is probably my third favorite song on the entire project, and it's a really interesting song to me because when I first heard it, I didn't actually know the lore behind the song. I have done my Googles to better understand the song, to actually understand the real meaning behind it and inspiration for it. While she's not named directly on the original version, the song is about Lorde, and how Charli describes the relationship as being kind of awkward and having a love and hate dynamic.
Yeah, I don't know if you like me. Sometimes I think you might hate me. Sometimes I think I might hate you.
Charli and Lorde have both received comparisons to each other earlier in their careers. Even in an older interview Charli had, she was mistaken for Lorde.
One of my favorite songs that you have is Royals. Where did you get the inspiration for that?
What makes this song really interesting is more so the remix, because Lorde's featured on it, and on her verse she talks about her perspective of the relationship.
Tell me how you've been feeling. Let's work it out on the remix.
Lorde talked about not even having a problem with Charli at all, and the awkward tension that Charli felt from Lorde actually stemmed from Lorde's personal problems, and from Lorde being really lost in her head dealing with her own trouble.
I was so lost in my head and scared to be in the picture.
She was totally unaware that Charli was feeling this way.
I never thought for a second my voice was in your head.
But they were able to use the remix as somewhat of a therapy to improve the relationship for the better.
I'm so happy that we have that song together, and as cheesy as this sounds, our relationship is in a really different place and it's really cool.
Both Charli and Lorde are really talented, so it's great to see them work through their problems. And now that they are on better terms, hopefully we can get more music out of them. Lorde recently even spoke on how working with Charli inspired her for her new album, Virgin. And while there hasn't been any mention of Charli being directly involved in her album, it'd be really cool to see her pop up on the album, but we still have to wait to see.
Think the apple's rotten right to the core. From all the things must come from all the apples coming before.
Apple's another amazing song. It sounds really upbeat, and while on the surface the song sounds really happy, if you really listen to the lyrics of it, you realize that the lyrics are darker than what they seem, because she's actually talking about generational trauma in this song.
This one goes out to anyone who's experienced generational trauma. You feel me, right?
Dealing with generational trauma is definitely different for every person, and you can see her talking about the effects of generational trauma in terms of an apple. Similar to how a ripe and fresh apple can turn green, it can also start rotting. Similar like dealing with generational trauma, on one side you can come out on the other side of that and be a better person from it, and grow and end that generational trauma. On the opposite spectrum, it can have adverse, negative effects on you that you're not able to overcome, and in a way, rots you to the core like an apple. The remix to Apple with Japanese House was also really good, and even though it is the remix, they do still focus on the generational trauma aspect of the song. And while on the original, she does talk about her family not fully understanding her. On the remix, she even goes further to say that sometimes when she's home, she doesn't even feel like it's actually her home.
Sometimes when I go home, it doesn't feel like home.
I also really love how after the Apple dance went viral, she started incorporating that into the shows when she performs the song.
Right to the core from all the things that's down from all the apples coming before.
Apple's definitely one of the more standout songs on the album, and overall, I love both versions of the song. When I heard back to back for the first couple of times, I did kind of enjoy the song, but as I kept listening to it more and more,
I mean, it's alright, like...
it really didn't do much for me. I didn't really care for it. I start skipping it more and more. Now I don't really listen to it. I don't listen to the remix either. And again, it's one of those songs where it's like nothing's glaringly bad about the song. I just don't really like it. So 99% of the time, I usually skip the song. The only other 1% is if it just plays because I didn't skip it.
Once for all my mean girls.
Mean Girls, the original and the remix are both songs I play religiously. This song is what I imagine the theme music for an it girl in New York who's just on the top of the world and is probably like partying in a club. My favorite part of the song is definitely the piano interlude that happens after the second verse. I like the remix and I listen to it every so often, but I still listen to the original way more than I do the remix. All around the song is just amazing and it's one of the best on the entire project.
I think about it all the time, that I might run out of time.
On I Think About It All the Time, you see Charli get back into a more introspective space, where she's thinking about her future and becoming a parent, even talking about her feelings while meeting one of her friend's babies. You can see her confronting that feeling of feeling like she's missing out on being a parent and running out of time to become one, but also considering her life without kids and the level of freedom she has. And now that Charli's having such level of commercial success she hasn't had in her career prior, the feeling's more and more confusing for her. Even on the remix, you can hear her talk about feeling guilty because if she did have a kid, she'd also have to stop working at the level that she is now.
So much guilt involved when we stop working, because you're not supposed to stop when things start working.
And being that Charli is at a space where she's probably at the perfect part of her career where she can mix the individuality of herself with commercial success. So she's really torn with giving that up. And while she's talking about running out of time in the terms of having children, the theme of running out of time is something that's really prevalent, especially when you get into your 20s and 30s, because as every year you get older, you feel your youth fading slowly and slowly. But time itself also feels like it's going a lot faster than when you're a kid, which just leads to more anxiety about the future.
365 party girl. that French manicure, avoid the residue.
The last song on the album is 365, which is pretty much another version of 360, which is the album intro. I do like how she ends the album with a similar song to the very intro. It makes the album feel like it's going an entirely full circle. In a way, it's like the album takes you through all the different feelings and emotions that she goes through as the 365 party girl, and the ending song brings you back to the very beginning of that party. Despite not liking a couple of the songs, I'd still give this album a 9 out of 10 overall. I'd say my favorite songs are definitely Everything Is Romantic, I Might Say Something Stupid, and Girl So Confusing, with Mean Girls as an honorable mention. This is definitely one of my favorite albums that I listened to in recent history. From the sound and the overall aesthetic of the album, it just sounds free and liberating. And while we're in a time where there's a lot of generic music,
oh, brother, this guy stinks!
it's refreshing to see an artist be a nonconformist. It go against the grain of pop culture and make something that's undeniable and unforgettable like what Charli did. And following her vision definitely paid off. Brat was one of the most critically acclaimed albums in 2024 and even got her 2 Grammys. I really wish I would have given the album more of a chance last year when it came out, because I probably would have went to the tour as well. And while we're only a couple days away from the 1-year anniversary of Brat, Charli has been subtly hinting at something else coming. And in a recent interview, it sounds like whatever's coming isn't going to be anything like Brat. And while the next album can be the total opposite of Brat, I'm still excited to see what she does next. That's all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Ka-Kafanee.